Hey everyone, welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast, your go-to source for LGBTQ plus news, politics, culture, and the stories shaping our community right now. I'm Zach Randles-Friedman, and we've got a packed lineup. From federal funding cuts impacting HIV and STD prevention programs, to California going head-to-head with the Department of Education over transgender student protections. We'll also head to San Francisco for a historic reopening at the Castro Theatre, unpack Hollywood rumor with culture with Cynthia Erivo, dive into a bizarre Winter Olympics scandal being dubbed Penisgate, and talk about alarming attacks on openly bisexual German football referee. Our first story is about the felon in chief. His administration cuts HIV and public health funding. This week, that administration targeted 4 Democrat-led states with cuts to funding that have already been authorized by Congress. The funding supported HIV/AIDS monitoring, STD prevention programs, and research assessing health risk for communities of color. The White House defended the move, saying the programs were inconsistent with agency priorities. Public health advocates say the cuts are alarming, particularly at a time when HIV rates remain disproportionately high in certain communities, especially Black and Latino populations and LGBTQ plus Americans. Critics argue that once Congress has appropriated funds, the executive branch has limited authority to redirect or withhold that money. Legal challenges could follow, especially if states argue the move undermines federal public health mandates. For LGBTQ plus communities, HIV prevention and monitoring programs are not the abstract line items, they are life-saving infrastructure. Next, we go to California, where they sue over trans student protections. California has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Education after federal officials threatened to withhold approximately $4.9 billion in annual education funding. At the center of the dispute is Assembly Bill 1955, signed into law in 2024, which prevents schools from requiring staff to disclose a student's gender identity to parents without the student's consent. Federal officials claim the law may violate FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Protection Act, and have demanded corrective actions, including allowing school districts to adopt parental notification policies. California Attorney General Rob Bonta argues that FERPA does not require schools to proactively disclose a student's gender identity. A federal judge has already granted a temporary restraining order blocking the administration from withholding funds while the case proceeds. This case sets a major precedent nationwide for transgender student privacy and parental notification laws. Next, we go to the Save America Act passes the House. The House has passed the Save America Act, legislation that imposes stricter voter registration and ballot casting requirements. Voting rights advocates warn that the law could disproportionately impact married women whose legal names differ from their birth certificates, as well as LGBTQ plus individuals whose documentation may not match their current identities. Supporters argue the bill strengthens election integrity. Critics say it creates barriers to participation, and as it moves forward, the bill is expected to face legal scrutiny and strong opposition in the Senate. Before we move forward, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Shopify. Every night when I get in bed, I start scrolling through my phone, and I always need to check out Instagram to see how my reels are doing for my podcast. Of course, Instagram knows my algorithm, and they find what I like to buy, and I start seeing these amazing products and ads. The worst thing is that when I find a great product and I realize my credit card is upstairs. I also hate having to type in my address, phone number, email, and all the information that a company needs. But when I see that purple button, I have a sense of relief. I know I can check out much easier with one tap because all the information is already saved. Shopify is a commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world that includes some of my favorite brands like Skims from Kim Kardashian. They have some great men's underwear. It is easy to get started because Shopify has their own design studio that has hundreds of ready-to-use templates, so you can build an online store using your own brand identity. Another great option they offer is a free way to manage your inventory, and you can also ship internationally. I'm starting my online store to sell all my merch for both my podcasts. The last thing I want to happen is to get a ton of orders and then I realize I'm out of inventory. This is where Shopify helps me so I can always know I have products to ship out. See less carts abandoned and more sales with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/listenup. Go to shopify.com/listenup. That's shopify.com/listenup and hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. Thanks so much for listening about that, and let's get back into the news. In a far brighter news, San Francisco's historic Castro Theatre hosted one of the first major events since reopening on February 6th after a 2-year restoration. Director Larry Lighton and actor Harry Melling appeared for a sold-out screening of Pillion ahead of its nationwide release. Hundreds of attendees, many dressed head to toe in leather and chains, lined up around the block in a homage to the city's historic BDSM scene. The film explores dub-sub dynamics with leather communities, while they have deep roots in San Francisco dating back to the 1960s. Castro Theatre house manager Royal Rangel called the event emblematic of the evolution of LGBTQ plus representation on screen. The screening also marked the theater's first showing since a Victor Victoria sing-along in February of 2024. San Francisco formally recognized the South of Market neighborhood as the LGBT and leather cultural district in 2018, marking this event not just a premiere, but a cultural homecoming. Next, we go to Cynthia Erivo addresses Wicked rumors. Cynthia is addressing persistent rumors that she and Wicked co-star Ariana Grande were romantically involved. In an interview with The Stylist, Cynthia said the fascination with their bond reflects society's discomfort with platonic female friendships. At first, I think people didn't understand how it was possible for two women to be friends, close friends, and not just lovers, she said. Both actors are reportedly in relationships, Grande with co-star Ethan Slater, and Erivo has been linked to Lena Waithe since 2022. Cynthia pointed out that society rarely models intimate but non-romantic friendships between women in the public eye. Sometimes closeness is just closeness. And next, Penisgate and the Winter Olympics. In one of the most bizarre sports scandals of the year, the World Anti-Doping Agency is investigating claims that ski jumpers may have injected hyaluronic acid into their penises to increase girth, potentially qualifying for slightly larger ski suits. Because ski suits are tightly regulated and even mirror surface area, and there's a theory that a marginally larger suit could improve flight distance. The controversy follows early revelations that members of Norway's team altered the seams at the 2025 World Championships. Officials have since introduced tamper-proof microchips in suits and stricter checkpoints ahead of the games in Italy. Yes, that's a real story. Next, German referee attacked after public proposal. This final story is deeply disturbing news from Germany. Football referee Pascal Kaiser was attacked at his home twice, just days after proposing to his boyfriend on the pitch at Cologne's Rhein-Energy-Stadion Stadion in front of nearly 50,000 spectators. The 29-year-old who came out as bisexual in 2021 had received threats following the public proposal. On February 7th, he was assaulted in his garden shortly after reporting threats to police. 2 days later, he was attacked again outside his home. Kaiser has been expected to be under police protection, but reports say officers arrived 30 minutes after the second attack was reported. The proposal had been intended to highlight queer visibility in football, a space where LGBTQ plus representation remains rare. Instead, it has exposed the risks that still come with that visibility. It's very sad and disappointing. When I first read that story about the proposal in front of 50,000 people cheering and so happy, I was so proud of that. Now I feel so horrible for him that he's going through this, not only once, but twice. And that's today's stories, from public health funding battles to student privacy rights, from historic queer cultural spaces to ongoing violence and bizarre Olympic controversies. It's clear that LGBTQ plus issues remain deeply intertwined with politics, culture, and global headlines. If you appreciate staying informed, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode. I'm Zach Randles-Friedman, and this has been Listen Up, Girl. Stay informed, stay loud, and I'll talk to you later this week with more LGBTQ plus news. Thanks for listening.